Ah man, the Doctor Who Christmas special is coming up, and I still haven't made a review for the 50th anniversary yet. What the? Oh no, this can't be good. There is a huge disturbance in the fourth wall. That's not possible. A collab of that size could destroy the entire rift. All our channels will collapse, and it looks like my channel's the first one to be caught in the blast. Oh crap. This is bad. This is bad. This is very, very bad.
Whoa, my head. Oh, hello, Cam. I see you redecorated. I don't like it.
This isn't my channel, Buck. A tear in the universe opened and I got sucked out here. You did too.
A tear in the universe? How did that even happen?
I'm not sure. 1 second I'm about to start reviewing Day of the Doctor, next thing I know the fourth wall just split open and I got sucked into the rift.
You were reviewing Day of the Doctor? Oh, I love the Day of the Doctor!
Well, I was reviewing it, but now I'm trying to find a way to get us out of here and prevent the destruction of the universe.
Whatever. Now, as much as I do like this episode, I must admit that the intro really bugged me. Or should I say, the lack of intro. Where's the TARDIS flying through space and the Doctor's giant face? The episode just suddenly starts right off in a way that is just kind of jarring. I don't like it.
Wait, what? How could you not like the intro? I loved it.
Oh, shit! I gotta side with Cam here. The very small intro the episode had was a great reference to the first episodes of Doctor Who. And, I mean, the policeman walking around on Totter's Lane? Fucking awesome.
The rift is spreading. More and more people are getting sucked out here. I've got to find a way to fix this.
What's his problem, Buck?
No idea. Something about the universe being destroyed.
Yeah, something caused a huge disturbance and ripped a hole in the universe. Now everything is leaking out. That's how we got here. Pretty soon more and more ponies will get sucked through.
Oh, shit. This isn't good.
No, it isn't.
Not that. I don't think my liquor made it out of the universe with me. I gotta find it.
What just happened? Did Voice leave the rift open again?
Whee!
Ow! Son of a...
Well, if it isn't Treble Notes and Music Reborn, our favourite little musical duet.
Did I hear people talking about the Day of the Doctor in here? Oh, sorry, music.
Oh, I think I broke something. Ow.
Everyone can calm down. I have found my liquor.
Can you pass me some, Jim? I think I might need it.
Hey, Jim, I dare you to take a shot every time there's a reference to a classic Who episode.
Oh, you're on trouble.
Guys, this is serious. The universe is bleeding out and everyone's channels are collapsing. We don't have time to talk about Doctor Who.
Hello? Can somebody help me up?
But Jim just started a drinking game for classic Doctor Who references. Better take a shot for that intro, Jim.
Really? Oh, well you better take a shot for that I Chesterton on the sign in front of the school then.
Guys?
Here, music, you can sit at this table and rest up a bit.
Okay, wait, where the hell did this table even come from?
Whoa! Tune Critic, you just knocked out music.
Damn you, Tune Critic.
Aw, love you too, buddy.
Hey, at least now we have someone to do the synopsis for us.
Man, I always have to do the synopsises. Well, that's what I tend to do best. Okay. So, after receiving a call from her doctor, Clara Oswald excitedly hops onto her motorcycle. When did she get a motorcycle? And goes to meet her doctor. Their greetings are cut short, however, when the TARDIS suddenly gets picked up by a helicopter piloted, of course, by Unit.
You guys aren't gonna be any help until we finish reviewing this thing, are you?
Apparently not.
Fine. I guess I'll just have to go along with you. So Unit is...
Unit is freaking awesome!
I know, right?
And Kate Lethbridge-Stewart is a badass!
And she's the daughter of Brigadier Lethbridge-Stewart.
It's so awesome!
Oh boy, they mentioned Lethbridge-Stewart. Take a shot, Jim.
Moving right along. So the helicopter sets the TARDIS and the Doctor down, and it seems to have attracted quite the crowd. Now, I kind of have a problem with this bit. The Doctor seems to oscillate randomly between being famous and being unknown. And it seems that sometimes everyone knows who the Doctor is, but other times, not a single person has heard of him before.
That's a good point, Treble. But even still, the only people that we actually know for sure actually recognise the Doctor are the people in UNIT itself. And we know that UNIT knows of the Doctor, obviously.
You can watch Planet of the Dead for some good examples of unit scientists going gaga over the Doctor.
Treble is annoyed that the Doctor is once again famous. He says the Doctor seems to oscillate randomly between being famous and being unknown. However, Buck Brony and Voice of Reason point out that the only people we see recognise the Doctor are members of UNIT, where recognising the Doctor would be understandable.
Give and take? What are you doing?
I'm summarising the debate so far. It's what I do.
I take it you got sucked out here through the vortex too?
I guess I did.
Well, I guess there's nothing we can do until we finish reviewing, so let's just get on with it.
I guess while I don't really like the Doctor's fame, I did find that one scientist with the scarf to be very entertaining.
Oh, yeah, the scarf.
It's at this point that the episode starts to get the ball rolling, as we are finally given a glimpse of the Time War.
Speaking of Time War, I love these scenes with the Time War. The special effects and cinematography are freaking fantastic. It really feels like a full-blown big-budget movie, and shows just how far we've come from the terrible special effects of classic Who.
Well, look who finally decided to wake up. And yeah, I agree, it's great to finally see some of the action on Gallifrey.
The Music Reborn is really impressed with the Time War scenes. He says it really feels like a full-blown big-budget movie, and Treble agrees. However, A&Y disagrees, and says that the Time Lord civilians look extremely cheap.
Gibbon, you don't have to do that for everything we say. I mean, we're all right here. Wait, and why? He's not even here, is he?
Incoming! I disagree with music that Time Lord civilians look extremely cheap. Why is everybody staring at me? Where are we, anyways?
How did you do that?
That is so cool!
I don't know. I just say what other people say. Usually after they've said it.
I have an idea. Hey, Gibbon.
And then Voice of Reason said, I like to clop to twi-dash porn every night.
Come on, boys. You gotta say it now. You know you want to.
I like to clop to twi-dash porn every night. You guys are jerks.
Anyways, what are we doing here?
Are we talking about Klopp over here?
No.
Ah.
But we are talking about Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah.
Is anybody going to tell me what the hell is going on?
I blame you. And why?
We're making the end of the universe more enjoyable by talking about Day of the Doctor.
Sweet! I guess while the Gallifrey theme was kind of cheap looking, it is still great to see firsthand what happens there, as the show had always just vaguely referenced it the whole time.
It's also at this point in the episode that we get introduced to John Hurt's Doctor, and man is he great. He is like Captain Old Awesome Pants. I love this character.
Me too.
Me three!
I was expecting that he would just be boring and old, but no, he's like the awesome grandpa you got at your parties. His sense of humor is still very much that of the Doctor's, if a bit jaded sounding. Somehow it just seems funnier whenever he just gets up in the Doctor's faces.
I agree. I especially liked how despite his aloof attitude and his not calling himself the Doctor, he couldn't really run from that and still made very Doctor-esque mistakes, such as failing to notice when the door was unlocked later on.
But now, we get to the moment with the moment. You have no idea how long I've been waiting to say that.
Very funny, Jim. Now, this is probably one of the more controversial parts of the episode. Rose fucking Tyler.
But it's not Rose, just the consciousness of the moment, which is good.
I hated Rose.
Me too.
Me three. You know, Billie Piper really wasn't necessary to play the moment. They could have gotten Karen Gillan, aka Amy Pond.
Yeah, screw Rose.
No, screw you! Screw all of you! Rose is best companion, motherfuckers!
Yep, I'm gonna have to side with Ellie here. Rose X10 OTP, bitches!
Me too!
Me 3.
And the group seems to be split on the topic of Rose.
Will you shut up with the summaries? We know. And just for the record, Rose is the worst companion since relaunch, and River X Doctor is OTP.
Well, regardless of what the moment looks like, I still think that it's quite an interesting character. I mean, it's a super weapon with a consciousness that doesn't want to be fired and will show its user their own future as a way of convincing them not to use it. It's pretty neat stuff.
Yeah, I guess it was pretty cool, so I'll give you that.
And speaking of showing the Doctor's future, it's time we moved on to the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, who honestly has not lost his step at all.
I hadn't actually seen much of Tennant for a long time when I first saw this episode, but it didn't take long for me to be reminded as to why he was such a great Doctor.
He had his funny moments, and he had his serious moments. All in all, though, David Tennant is still the Doctor we all know and love.
As great as it was to see Tennant again, he didn't get much to do in the episode. It felt kind of like he was just saying, "Remember me? Huh? Remember? I was the popular one!"
I kind of agree. He didn't have much to do in the episode besides looking cool. It basically boils down to fan service. But the whole anniversary is supposed to be fan service, and frankly, I don't really care that much if it means we get to see Tennant again.
And having him be wrong about the Zygon so many times was effing hilarious!
I thought it got kind of redundant after a while.
Yeah, as much as I loved watching Tennant before and even in this, it seems like they wrote Tennant to be kind of stupid. I mean, he had always been kind of naive before, but it was never really to this extent. However, I do like the little twist they do with the phrase timey-wimey with him and Matt Smith. That's actually pretty clever.
I guess it really boils down to how much you are willing to let slide in the name of just seeing some more of David Tennant.
Speaking of the Zygons, though, I really didn't like them. Shapeshifters have been done before and better in Doctor Who, and they were just kind of forgettable, not to mention how cheesy they looked.
Oh, come on, Brony Dev. It's just another reference to classic Who. Hang on. I think we can let them slide.
Jim? How many shots are you up to?
5? Why?
It's pretty great to see some classic villains return.
See, Dev, even the Clopper here agrees with me.
Will you shut up about that? I do not!
And now we get one of the best parts of the whole episode. The moment when the three Doctors meet.
Every line of dialogue between these three is just pure gold. The chemistry between them is incredible.
The way they all try to one-up the other and subtly get some jabs in at them even when they are being held at spear point is hilarious.
The scene even has some subtle reminders to the original three Doctors with Hartnell, Troughton, and Pertwee.
Who are you talking to?
Myself!
But who was that?
Me! Me! I am he, and he is me.
We are all together, Goo Goo Kichu?
What?
It's a song by the Beatles.
How does it go? Oh, please be quiet.
Oh, well, if it isn't your highness, Mr. Fancy Alicorn Man.
Some people just say hello, voice. What's going on here?
Cam seems to know more than anyone what's going on here. I'll let him explain.
Okay, so this Day of the Doctor collab right now is so huge that the Rift energy tore a hole in the universe and even sent ripples back in time. These ripples tore a hole before the collab even started and we all got sucked through it out here to start the collab. It's a self-sustaining time loop and it's threatening to destroy the universe.
Seems legit. Anyway, while I did enjoy seeing a few of the newer Doctors and the older ones photoshopped in, I did have two major problems with this episode. In the 1972 special, The Three Doctors, it's shown that it takes an enormous amount of energy to get a person to cross their own timeline. This is demonstrated when the Time Lord High Council uses up a lot of its power to bring in the second Doctor to this episode, and then doesn't have enough left to bring in the first. An exponential growth rate and power requirement such as this would probably build out to be more power than the universe itself contains by the 6th or 7th Doctor. Gathering all 13 would need an unimaginable amount of energy.
Yeah, but there are ways of getting around this thing, such as in the Five Doctors when the rogue Time Lord used the supposed time scoop. And that didn't use up much energy at all, and it's not unthinkable that the moment could have some similar method.
That actually would make a great deal of sense, seeing as how the moment opened up one-way portals much like the time scoop.
Moving on with the episode, in true Doctor fashion, they all utterly fail to talk their way out of a bad situation and end up in prison. This prison scene is great. We get to see some of Sirius Tennant again, and get some great development of all the characters involved.
And the concept of the same software, different hardware thing is ingenious. It's a classic Doctor Who sort of solution that makes sense, only in a weird, timey-wimey sort of way. But the lesson the Doctors learned from this is used later on a much grander, much more awesome scale.
This is one of the best things about the episode. The use of the plot device is first on a small scale to teach the characters in the audience, and then later on a much larger scale as part of the climax. Day of the Doctor does this with the same software, different hardware trick, and also with hiding into paintings until it was time to come out strategy. This form of plot progression is brilliantly done, and it seems like it would be from a movie.
But, as ingenious as the trick with the screwdrivers was, the door was unlocked the whole time. Which, while funny, was totally anticlimactic. I think we all would have liked to see them disintegrate the door, burst out and be like, "Surprise, biznitch!" Would have been all awesome, like the bit with the painting, which was so badass. But no, Clara just opens the door for them.
I don't really think it was anticlimactic at all, Lily. It was just a setup for a joke that featured some of the best character interactions I've seen in the entire series. Granted, it was all technically the same character, but whatever. Think about it for a minute. 10 and 11 make it a point to not use violence to resolve conflicts unless it's absolutely necessary. And from what I've seen in the War Doctor, it leads me to believe that he's opposed to needless one-on-one violence as well. I mean, what did you expect? For them to fight their way out of the fucking Tower of London? Having Clara rescue them while they think they're concocting some kind of massively clever escape plan is good humor, and it advances the plot nicely because Elizabeth gave them an out which they were too wrapped up in themselves to take. Also, having the Doctor take care of everything himself kind of negates the need for companions, doesn't it?
I thought you were drunk.
I'm never too drunk to analyze Doctor Who.
Anyway, so they escape, learn the Zygon's evil plan to take over the world, and then they take off. But not before 10 marries the Queen and tells her that he'll be back. That one scene managed to tie together some continuity with not one, but 2 different episodes. And at the end of time, the Doctor mentions that he married Queen Elizabeth. And the Doctor saying he'll return finally explains while the Queen wanted him dead in the Shakespeare Code.
Unfortunately, the Doctor lost his memory of the whole affair and never remembered telling Elizabeth that he'd be back. So now, our time-travelling trio are off to save the world from the Zygons. But they can't land because the Black Archive is TARDIS-proofed. And the War Doctor devises an ingenious plan to get into the archive by doing what the Zygons did and going through the painting. I love the idea of them hiding in the paintings. I really hope they explore this concept in the future.
The moment when they all come out of the painting is just so cool. Just imagine it from the other people's perspective. They are in the archives, London is about to get nuked, and they are hoping the Doctor will come and fix it all. Just then, an exploding Dalek flies out of the nearby painting, followed by 3 of the Doctors. It's amazing. And the music and camera angles in that scene really help it feel that way. Goosebump moment par excellence.
Sure, it's amazing, but it's totally impossible.
How so?
The plan revolved around getting that one scientist guy to move the painting to the Black Archive, but there was no time that he could have done it. He receives the call to move it, but just a few minutes later he's back in the Undergallery where he gets attacked by the Zygons.
Well, he didn't have to move it himself, you know. He could have ordered some other people to move it. After all, the Doctor did say have it moved.
But this is supposed to be the most secure place on the planet. They wouldn't let just some soldiers in, even if they did say they had orders from higher up.
Who says the Black Archive is as secure as Kate Stewart claims it to be? This is a place that just lets someone in without any way to check if they might be a shape-shifting alien from outer space. You would think that would be something UNIT would keep in mind as a possibility, considering that they've dealt with Zygons before.
Either way, the Black Archive is a bit of a mess, and Moffat probably could have handled the whole thing much better.
When you think about it, though, it's pretty impressive that with a storyline that is this twisted and tangled all over the place, that this is the only continuity error we can find. Apart from that, it's really satisfying how they managed to weave everything together into a cohesive whole.
Was I the only one who didn't like how they supposedly brought every one of the Doctor's companions to the Black Archive. It doesn't really make much sense how that would be all that feasible, and it just feels like they're trying to cram in one more classic Who reference for no reason.
Well, the reason is fanservice. Blatant fanservice. And I love it. And really, it's to be expected. It's the 50th anniversary, and the show is celebrating its history. So I'm willing to accept some things like this.
Personally, I had much bigger problems than that with the Black Archive. The whole Zygon subplot just ends there. The Doctors come in and say, "We're not going to let you out. Also, no one remembers who or what they are. Also, we're leaving now. Goodbye." We never see any conclusion. What happens to the people in the Black Archive?
Nobody knows.
However that subplot ends, what we saw of it was apparently good enough for the War Doctor, and he decides to go through with using the Moment, and the other two Doctors follow.
Clara is great in this scene around the Moment. Up until now, she had mostly just been sidelining the episode, but this scene really gives her a chance to shine as a companion. Here, the Doctor is in his darkest moments, and Clara manages to talk them out of using the Moment. Clara does it.
And now we get to the climax. The three Doctors come up with a plan so clever that only 3 Doctors could come up with it. The best part about this plan, it utilizes the lessons learned earlier from the Zygons. It makes the plan feel like it actually came from somewhere, and didn't just suddenly happen, which makes for a great way to tie the whole episode together.
It's hard to describe the feeling you get when you see classic Who Doctors appear in the show. It's a strange mix of nostalgia and excitement that I've only really felt in Doctor Who. I wonder if there's a word for it.
Oh, I see. You all need an obscure or made-up word, and you always look towards the German. That's racist or something.
Come on, NY, you gotta have a word for it. Just like, put a bunch of words together and see what happens.
Honestly, I thought that Jim would have lost it a long time ago. But I guess seeing all the Doctors return was finally too much for him.
It was pretty amazing, but I'm a little disappointed that they couldn't bring Christopher Eccleston back, and they just had to recycle some footage of him. It would have been nice to have Eccleston come back, but then again, how would they incorporate him?
Yeah, it would have been fantastic to have Chris back, but he's explained why he left and why he won't come back, and I respect him for it. Still a shame though.
And on that same line of thinking, if they went through all the trouble of bringing so many actors back to the show, they could have given them all a bit more of a role, instead of just appearing on a screen for a few seconds.
After going through the plan, in the epilogue, the Doctors part ways, content by the fact that, at worst, they failed at doing the right thing, instead of succeeding at doing the wrong thing. The joke with Tennant saying, "I don't want to go." No. But the 11th Doctor gets withered by the museum's curator, who is revealed to be...
Tom Baker! Tom Mother effin' Baker's appearance in this is the perfect way to end off the episode. It's just perfect. It's a great lead into the next episode and all this other good stuff. I have no complaints. I'm done. Goodbye. Sayonara. What have you. I'm done.
Well, it just goes to show that if you're going to fan pander, the trick is to fan pander so hard that the fans don't even care.
That actually is my second problem with the episode. The 4th Doctor's appearance breaks the show's canon. The 4th Doctor was stated in the show to be 748 when he regenerated, and the 5th Doctor said that he was 813 when he regenerated, which puts the 4th Doctor's lifespan at 65 years. Under normal circumstances, that's nowhere near long enough of a period for a Time Lord to exhibit physical aging.
Except it wasn't actually the 4th Doctor. As he said, "In time you'll find yourself revisiting some old faces, but only the old favorites." It was a distant future version of the Doctor that had Tom Baker's face.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
All in all, I think we can all agree that the Doctor Who 50th anniversary was great and really managed to live up to the 50 years of hype before it.
Yeah! What's happening?
Oh, I get it now. We've reached a consensus.
What?
That's what caused the rift to open. So many opinions all in one place, all needing to be said. The universe couldn't handle it, but now we've reached an agreement and everyone's opinions have been released. The universe is healing itself.
What?
Well, that was certainly interesting.
I'll say.
Let's make sure never to do something like that again.
Never, ever.
So what did you all think of the Christmas special?
God damn it, Cam.